We're about to find out, and he is in Big Ten country now, as Maryland has been in that league now for a while. So they got their guy in Buzz Williams. Goodman just said it. They had to win the press conference. Mike LaTulip, do you think that was mission accomplished by hiring Buzz Williams away from Texas A&M?
Well, I think you have to move quick in this day and age. It was very clear that he had interest in the job, and it's a safe play. I mean, I think you look at the last couple stops that he's been at. I mean, A&M, he took them to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. The previous 11 years, they went to 2. When he was at Virginia Tech, took them to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. The previous 20 years, they went to 1. So he's proven that he can win, like Goodman said in the video. Uh, his methods and his personality, that may be one thing, but if you're Maryland, like I said, I think it is a safe play, and I think he's able to reset his clock a little bit, and that seems to be the theme with Buzz Williams over the years. So I don't think it's a bad hire by any means. I think it's certainly one of those wait and see deals when you see kind of how he meshes with whoever comes in as the AD and the administration, and how he brings his style of play from Texas A&M to the Big Ten. Can he replicate that? That's probably my biggest question.
Terrence, I look at the Buzz hire, and this guy, people are saying, well, if you want somebody that's going to be there for a while, he's not going to be there. He jumps from job to job. But I kind of look at it differently nowadays. Like 5-6 years to me feels like an eternity in modern day college athletics with the way things change.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think really the guy that a lot of Maryland fans and Maryland people wanted was Dwayne Simpkins. I think he's a job away from taking Maryland. And he's done a terrific job at American. Like, let's not take away from the fact of how good a job he's done since he's taken over there. They won their league. They went to the NCAA tournament. He's done a really nice job. He's a job away. I think that jump would have been too big. But what you get with, Buzz Williams, guy's going to win. It doesn't matter what league he's in. It doesn't matter who they're playing. His style of play and the way his players play every single night from an intensity perspective, from a physicality perspective, and he always finds a way to get a couple of guards that can really go. He's going to win. Now, he's also going to probably wear his welcome out after 5 years. That's kind of what happens. Yeah. And look, 5-6 years, that is a long time. But if I could sign up to have a coach for 5 or 6 years in today's modern day and age of college basketball, I would sign up. You're going to go to the tournament, maybe not in year 1, but he's going to get things rolling, at least set things up for the next guy. And keep in mind, too, when the next AD comes in, Kevin Willard pretty much laid out everything that was wrong with what was going on with Maryland. So they know exactly what the problems are. The people looking and reading and on all these message boards, they know what the problems are now. They're no longer swept under the rug and just expecting guys to win just because this is Maryland. This is a big-time brand. But they haven't been able to compete with some of these other schools, and it needs to come. And Kevin Willard might have done Buzz Williams the best favor of all, and that's to kind of light a fire under some of the people that make some of those decisions.
I think you just said something brilliant. I think you're exactly right. The greatest favor that's ever been done for a coach was Kevin Willard acting like a fool on his way out. And I know Willard said he had no regrets. I thought it was embarrassing. I really did. I just don't think you handle that publicly the way that he did. You could do it, behind closed doors and not have to embarrass your employer or the kids in the middle of a run to the Sweet 16 is, you have your big moment against Colorado State. I just thought it was ridiculous. But for me, I think it's a favor now done for the next guy, which happens to be Buzz. I don't feel a lot of people are saying this, and pun intended here, but I feel there's a little, less buzz for the Buzz hire than, maybe some people would like. But I don't know, Mike. I think they upgraded. I'm a Buzz Williams guy. I mean, I've been around Buzz. I like Buzz. I know he's not for everybody. He's kind of gruff. He's kind of, I've hosted shows with Buzz. So you can imagine, I mean, he's a different kind of dude than, like you, me, and Terrence are sitting here right now. But different cat. I could see how 5-6 years he wears out his welcome. But you know what? In football, there's a guy that's like that by the name of Jim Harbaugh. So, for whatever reason, you get what you can out of the guys. And Mike, I think they upgraded.
Yeah, I don't think different's always bad, right?
Yeah.
And I will say too, with Buzz, when he came into Vatech, he left that job better than it was when he took it. And I think the same can be said for Texas A&M, for whoever takes over that job. So that's kind of I think the one thing that I look at with Buzz, and yeah, I think you both hit the nail on the head with Willard. There's definitely a fire that was lit there, and whether it's boosters, the administration, like they're going to have to kind of get things in order for this coach to be, to be as successful as I think we think that brand should be, because it's a hell of a brand. I think it's one of the best brands in the Big Ten. It just hasn't been that way since they've been in the league for the last 10 years. I mean, they've had success, certainly, but not the sustained success that I think that they're capable of. So can Buzz achieve that? We've seen him be a kind of a perennial tournament team type of coach. And, this is a Maryland team that didn't make the tournament last year. That was kind of has kind of rode the roller coaster the last 5 or 6 years. So can Buzz bring in some stability? I think that's the big question here.
Yeah. It's got brand potential. I mean, it's been there before. It's won a national title. It's been a little dormant, but we know what it can be. Now we'll see if everybody invests in it. I am curious, though. But Terrence, why do you think Buzz was drawn to a job that doesn't have a boss? Like, he does not know who he will be answering to, or does that even matter nowadays in modern college athletics? I mean, we see GMs now hiring and firing, so I'm wondering what kind of deal they set up with him.
If the ink's dry, he can coach. And I think Willard was loud enough kicking and screaming on his way out to where he's going to be able to get some things done. I think that's first and foremost. Why he would take that job? Well, it is still Maryland. And there's a lot of people, myself included, who remember the Maryland brand for what it was and what it still should be. I think one of the big things is when they left the ACC to go to the Big Ten, they kind of got lost in the shuffle. They were no longer the big game. And when they were the ACC, it was, hey, Maryland, Duke, that's a big-time rivalry. Maryland, North Carolina, they hate each other. I don't – who does Maryland hate in that league? I don't – Latulip would have to tell me. So I think, it's kind of, they're getting paid a lot more money, but the national buzz doesn't seem to be as relevant. And that kind of stinks. But I'd also think that Buzz Williams, he has a way of getting to the tournament and keeping teams in the top 20. I think at this point, when you look at some of the things around the school and the problems that they've dealt with, at least the ones that Willard was willing to mention, I think that school's willing to live with top 20, top 25 at this point, getting to the tournament. That's what they want. I don't are your expectations different now that you're in the Big Ten, even though you're getting paid more money? That's my question.